Katt Williams and Terrence Howard just revealed how the industry exploits young women and uses black men to push their story. Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, and even Jeffrey Epstein were only pawns. The real masterminds use fame and money to trap and control young artists. Forcing men to give up their manhood and women to lose their integrity is just one part of what happens behind the scenes in Hollywood.
You can't be so happy to change your life. You know how many celebrities went to Diddy's house thinking they was finna dance? How does that feel? You a grown man. You gotta leave Diddy's party like that. You can't even sit down in the car. You gotta drive all the way home, standing up. Whew. Can't roll the window down. You roll the window down, that breeze hit that open hole and start blowing and ships start sailing.
Terrence Howard is an Oscar-nominated actor, and he saw up close how the industry works. The private meetings, the one-on-one auditions in hotel rooms. He saw it all and chose to step away. The casting couch culture in Hollywood is much bigger than any celebrity would admit. Diddy's arrest proved it. During the FBI raid on his Miami mansion, the Department of Justice found hundreds of hours of video and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil. These videos showed exactly what Hollywood had been hiding for years. Some of the biggest artists were caught on tape being forced to be close with film and music executives. These executives called these relationships consensual and said these acts were just special favors. But Terrence revealed what was really happening. In an interview with Patrick Bet-David, Terrence Howard shared the real reason the industry had blacklisted him. Terrence exposed Diddy for who he really was. Someone was using his fame and connections to force young stars to do what he wanted. Terrence even named the victims and what could happen if they said no. Then Terrence said something out loud that no one expected him to say.
Losing out money, you got to take, you're going through so much to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far, you know? Who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head, you know? But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
This is where the story gets even darker. The real reason Terrence Howard left the entertainment industry and was blackballed wasn't because of his behavior or acting skills. Simply put, Terrence Howard was blackballed because he refused to give up his integrity. Diddy invited Terrence Howard to dinner and told him he was sexually interested in him after listening to his music. Did he wait until he heard Terrence play to let him know that if he wanted to succeed in the music industry, he would have to do certain things?
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the
Hell
consequences
yeah.
when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that. Because the man card means everything.
This was all part of Diddy's usual playbook. It's the same story that many other young actors and models shared in their lawsuits against him. Music executives would invite these young artists to a private audition in their hotel room, then tell them that if they didn't agree to what the director wanted, their career would be ruined. Harvey Weinstein's arrest first sparked the rumors, and now the FBI tapes from Diddy's house prove it. Justin Bieber, Usher, Aaron Carter, some of the biggest names, were all abused as children, and the common link was Diddy. Puffy's flavor camp, as Diddy called it, meant child performers were handed over to executives in exchange for promises of fame and money. The worst part? In many cases, the parents knew what was happening but did nothing. Looking at Justin Bieber's self-destructive behavior, you can see that what Terrence said was true. Terrence explained that those who say yes to these deals and give up their integrity can never escape it. What's the point of success if you lose your self-respect? According to Terrence, people like Justin Bieber and Usher struggle mentally and turn to drugs to forget the abuse they suffered.
Struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Katt Williams said the same thing. He has been saying it for years. Even back in 2017, almost a decade before anything about Diddy came out, Katt went on record saying that you have to sell your soul and integrity if you want to succeed in Hollywood. Katt also noticed a suspicious pattern of black celebrities suddenly becoming famous after they agreed to put on a dress. According to him, these men gave up their manhood and joined in a humiliation ritual meant to make black men look bad. Katt even mentioned Kevin Hart. After Kevin Hart started wearing dresses and acting feminine in his movies, his career suddenly took off.
Let's be very, very clear. It is possible that there isn't anything funnier than a guy in a dress. And if that's the case, then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress. Okay, well, I watched all of my friends throughout my entire life be able to dunk a basketball, but not me. So everybody can't do everything. So, you know, some of us make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are gonna say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Katt was offered the same choice as Kevin Hart, but he said no. Katt refused to dress as a woman and chose to respect himself instead. Just like Terrence Howard, after Katt said no to what the industry wanted, he was blackballed. Katt was called difficult to work with, and the police were even called on him several times. According to Katt, the industry was retaliating. They wanted to make an example out of him. The tapes found at Diddy's house showed how Diddy controlled the artists working for him. This was clear blackmail material.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. End quote.
I mean, we all love Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us.
Yeah.
But now it's not necessary for us to stir up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung 1,000,000 times. I didn't understand that. They had to sting me 1,000,000 times. I'm still not going to join, but I respect it a little more.
All right. How do you handle that? Because they put your name in the press with a lot of rumors and a lot of situations that they try to put on Katt Williams. Do you feel ever the need to, like, I got to go defend this and put out a story about who I am, or do you just let that kind of like roll off your back when
Well, as you can see, I've let it all go for quite some time, and a lot of that is just based upon the fact that I don't really know how to complain because all of the people that I ever looked up to had to go through it too. So I know how much they talked about Martin Luther King, and I know what they end up doing to him. I know this same story about Jesus and a few of my uncles. So now I know that if your mouth is really, really big and you try to tell the truth for a living and you like to air people out, hatred is coming your way.
Katt has been saying this for years. Even when Diddy ran the music world, Katt spoke out against him. All the celebrities who hung out with Diddy and said they didn't know what was happening behind the scenes are lying. Katt never went to Diddy's parties, but he still knew what was going on.
Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited in a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you around and look in the wrong room and shit. Come here, come here. Is that two niggas kissing? Is one of them niggas Professor Obi?
Katt couldn't say Diddy's name directly because he knew Diddy would go after him and his kids. Just days after Terrence Howard spoke out against Diddy and told the world what Diddy was doing behind closed doors, the industry started attacking him. Terrence even posted a video on his old account showing that someone was trying to hurt him and his reputation. People called Terrence a liar. Allegedly, Terrence Howard even got threats over the names he revealed.
Listen, before y'all talk about me, y'all need to talk to me. You see, once upon a time, if a man questioned another man's honor, he didn't do it from the shadows. He had to do it out in the open, with his name, his chest out, and his chin high. Not hiding behind a keyboard or tucked behind editing clips of fair use disclaimers. You see, citing Section 107 of the Copyright Act does not give you free rein to defame, misrepresent, or harm others' reputation. Fair use is not a shield for character assassination. So here's the simple truth. If you take my words, my image, my ideas, and twist them to feed your fear and inflate your ego, if you profit off of my name while calling me a liar, then be prepared to stand behind your accusations. Because in the old world, men didn't hide behind anything. When they spoke against someone, they had to speak it with their whole being. And if you're going to speak against me, then use the same courage that it took for me to say those truths. Man to man, eye to eye, integrity and in truth. I've spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. So if you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face. And say it like a man.
Katt Williams also pointed out something people often miss. He said there are public figures who show one image but never seem to get in legal trouble, even though they act like they live the opposite life. Diddy acted like a gangster all his life, but he was never arrested. Diddy even confessed to some crimes on Lev TV. Why is that? Katt gets arrested many times, even though he's innocent. But someone like Diddy, who everyone knew was linked to the murders of Tupac and Biggie, is never even questioned. According to Katt, this difference alone should make
something.
The industry never goes after one of their own. Everyone knew what Harvey Weinstein was doing. Many women spoke out against him, but no big celebrities said anything. They kept meeting and hanging out with him right up until his conviction. After that, everyone started calling him a criminal. Katt's question is simple. These celebrities knew what Harvey Weinstein and Diddy were doing from the start. So why did they wait so long to speak up?
The idea that there are sexual predators in power, not just in Hollywood, I think in all across any place there's a boss with underlings in any corporation or any industry, you have a type of sexual politics that goes on that can slide in between appropriate ethics and decorum to inappropriate behavior to the point of harassment and predatory behavior.
Well, I mean, I think people understand that, but the larger question is there a culture of complicity in Hollywood where women are afraid to speak up because they'll be blacklisted, men are afraid to speak up because either they're out of the same fear or they just think, well, this is the way the system works.
I think there are people that say, hey, this is how it works, pure and simple, and this is why I got into it, and this is why I have power. This is how it works, and you have to understand that. That does not carry the day. Complicity is also complicity. The people who know, well, look, this is how we do business, and that's what it's got to be done. I'm sorry it's like that. So beware. That's also present, without a doubt, but it does not carry the day.
These celebrities are being controlled, sometimes through fame and sometimes through money. The one person Katt Williams respects in the entertainment industry is Dave Chappelle, and that's because Dave said no to money. Dave Chappelle was offered $100 million, but he refused. Oprah even asked him if he was crazy for not taking the money, but Dave told her he knew that money would be used to control him. After he said no, Oprah made fun of him. At the time, no one but Katt understood why Dave was doing this, but now it's becoming clear.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay.
When
you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, they're trying to kill.
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
Comedian Dave Chappelle left tens of millions of dollars on the table when he walked away from his popular Comedy Central show. A lot of people wondered what the hell was he thinking, and that's a quote. Chappelle says he had...
he was thinking.
Or whether he was thinking. A lot of people ask that question. Chappelle says he had a crisis of conscience and stood up for his integrity as an artist. He explained to us how stepping out of the spotlight helped him avoid getting caught in a trap.
It's so much bigger than money, though, Dave. It's so much bigger than money.
Oh, no, it was bigger than money. But you know what? I watched one of these nature shows one time, and they were talking about how a bushman finds water when it's scarce. And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently, baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole, and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt. Salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the Bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty. The Bushman lets him out the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water. Bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough to let go of the salt.
And it's not just Terrence Howard who said no to Diddy's advances. Diddy actually made a similar offer to his biggest rival, 50 Cent. First, he told 50 Cent that he wanted to take him on a shopping date. At that time, Diddy and Bad Boy Entertainment were some of the biggest names in entertainment. What Diddy was really saying to 50 Cent was that if he said yes to a relationship, Diddy would take care of his career. That's when 50 Cent realized that everyone working for Diddy had been compromised.
Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations, I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else, but I did feel uncomfortable with the way you would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like, when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them, and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going with, like, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet. Like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. So I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally is that those accusations are crazy.
Thanks to Dave Chappelle, Katt Williams, and Terrence Howard, people in the industry are slowly starting to wake up and fight back against the blackmail. Lord Jamar recently spoke about how the music industry really works. He said that while it may seem like every music label is separate, they are actually all working together, like the leaders of a crime family.
I believe there's people behind the scenes that are homosexuals that are pushing buttons? Yes. And that they want you to be down with their in order to push the button for you? Absolutely. And this is part of it. You just saw one of the gay mafia members. That's who he is. That's who Puffy is. He's one of the members of the mob. He's a mafia member. But he might not be Don Carl. He's not the Godfather. You see? He's not the Godfather. He's one of the heads of the families. You see? We had different families in this fucking thing. We got Bad Boy. We got fucking what do we have? Death Row over here. We have the different we got fucking Arista Records and LaFace. And these are the fucking families in the mafia. You dig? Those record companies are like families.
The difference between Katt and other comedians in the entertainment industry is that Katt understands the consequences of his actions. He saw the industry for what it really is. He saw how one powerful person is used to pressure everyone else in the circle. That's not just a joke anymore. It's a confession hidden in comedy. And it's not just about baby oil. It's about how normal things are turned into weapons, how innocence is used as a cover, and how the game controls you while you think you're just networking. These aren't just strange habits or one-time events. They are rituals, patterns, and once you start seeing them, you can't unsee them.
I'm in the production business. I understand what is worth doing for ratings. I understand what is worth doing when the industry is canceling one black guy. I know what happens when they are going to elevate another. And I know what happens when they don't care about either of them. This is how quarterbacking goes. So the question is, hey, your quarterback just got sacked. Did we know we was going to sack your quarterback? We absolutely did. It was a play, buddy. We've been rehearsing it, working it out, making sure that at some point when you get to this level, we can make sure we knock you from a $20 million man to putting in the news that people won't hire you no more and your career is done. Yeah.
So you're saying it was a setup?
You can do all of that.
Are you saying it was?
I'm saying that everything that happens in a business that's based off of pretend that seems like a setup is.
Everything that happens in a business, everything that happens in a business that's based off of pretend, that seems like a setup is.
Yes.
So do you think Katt is right about the industry? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. The truth is finally starting to come out.